It's time to play the music. It's time to fight the lights. It's time to meet the gang on the Ramblecast tonight. It's time to put on makeup. It's time to dress up right. It's time to raise the curtain on the Ramblecast tonight. You know, I always dreamed I'd be on this show. Dream? More like a nightmare. On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, confrontational Ramblecast tonight.
It'd be cool if we could just pull back. Yeah.
I think that might be your best one yet. And I'm serious. It
was your most Muppetational.
Yeah.
It was.
Muppetational?
My only question is, who had their hand up your ass as you were singing it?
He knows Chris isn't here.
The listeners.
Yeah.
The listeners. They always do.
Yeah, I cranked that one out last night. And at first I just did it in my normal voice. And then I went, you know what? I should try to do this in different voices and see.
It was a lot. It took a lot. I think, in fact, I don't think we can top it. Great show, kids. That was
one in a million.
And
wrap it up. Wrap it. Pretty.
Anyway, sorry we're late. I have a story. It's just up in a best the last 10 minutes.
Life moves in those ways.
Life is like a box of chocolates. You always get a crappy one.
One of them's always laced with LSD.
Yeah.
One of them is always a banana.
But seriously, but box of chocolates, you always get that one. You don't know what it is. You bite into it and go, but it's so expensive. Do you waste it? Do you spit it out?
No, you just go through it.
I mean, chocolate. I mean, good C's box of chocolate, C's candy, like at the airport's like $31.
Oh yeah.
Going back to, I think it was last week, we were talking about George Harrison and John Lennon and how they wrote songs and all that.
Made chocolate.
Yeah. And well, that's what, on the White Album, Savoy Truffle, that was Eric Clapton had a big chocolate addiction. He was a chocoholic. And so George was sitting there.
And that chocolate was actually cocaine.
It was, or heroin. Yeah. But he was just looking at, how when you would pick up the chocolate out of the thing, it would, tell you what it was below, what you're eating. And so he was looking down and said, "Oh, cream, tangerine," and then just kind of strung together all the names of the chocolates.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, that is wild.
That is wild and
wacky.
Sometimes the ones that I don't like are oftentimes the fruit flavors,
Yeah, I would think so.
Like raspberry. Okay. Lemon.
I'm not a big raspberry. I just want like caramel in it, or
right.
Or just caramel.
I mean, every now and then it's okay. Go nuts. Get a nut. You're like.
Sometimes I feel like a nut. Sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
But you often can tell. You know which ones are going to have.
Well, a lot of the nuts are on top.
Right. So you're kind of already alerted to it. Like, hey, I've got a nut allergy. What am I in for here?
Yeah, there's like 3 almonds sitting.
A lot of fun.
Do they have to put on there that there's a chance there's a peanut in this?
I think they're almost all like, they'll say made in a factory with nuts. So,
well, is that talking about the people that made the chocolate?
No,
that's when the chocolate.
That's if it's from China, and then you have to check for lead.
Too. Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, can you imagine just chocolate? It's made in China, so they're probably working 12, 14-hour shifts. Chocolate. I think I would go crazy.
I don't know if they even have cocoa in China. Do they?
Yeah, they got chocolate everywhere, man.
So
I'm sure it's imported, But
so where do they make this chocolate? I mean, I thought I like C's candy. I would assume they make it in America.
Well, they have chocolate in in Europe too, but it's not native.
Jack, you strike me as a non-dark chocolate fan. Like
I'm not a dark chocolate. I'll eat it.
I'm 100%.
If there's a box of chocolate there, I will eat the dark chocolate, but I'm not a dark chocolate fan. Which I know people go, "I'll give you a dark chocolate fan."
I'm not dark. Yeah.
My
don't like
wife
chocolate
and I are both dark chocolate fans.
Oh.
So then I typically fall on the milk chocolate grenade.
I like it.
And milk chocolate upsets your stomach. So, thus
well,
the dark
that
chocolate.
would make sense if you don't like. Because I know when I was talking about Hershey's chocolate, Jay goes, "I hate Hershey's chocolate."
And white chocolate isn't even really chocolate, so just get out of here with that.
Yeah,
that's
get out
like
of here with your white chocolate. Yeah.
That's like green coal.
Well, Jay doesn't like Hershey's chocolate. I go, how do you not like Hershey's chocolate?
Because it's Jay, and Jay hates everything.
Yeah, well, it's American products.
American product. Yeah, he hates America.
Because I've been trying to get the whole family to go up to Hershey Park, which is like 5.5 hours away from here.
Yeah.
And they're all like, "Nah, we've done it." I go, "Your kids haven't done it."
Yeah.
Would they like it?
5.5 hours though. Jeez.
You say, "God damn it!" Like, I watch your little shits all the time. You can at least go to Hershey.
Well, you're in Raleigh. You have Busch Gardens. I think it's like 3.5, 4 hours away. Okay. You have King's Dominion is about 3 hours away.
I mean, things that are 3 hours away. Let's just face it. That's like, you could pretty much do like in a day. You're like,
but there's a town where a little ways
5 hours you're invested into a hotel at least, right?
Well,
you're not coming back.
It's fine. I would stay in a hotel, but my family is that's where we're from. Yeah, like Randy's saying, you could visit East Berlin and York, but there's also Glatfelter Station, which is where the Glatfelters started, just outside of York, or it might be in York. I don't know. But there's bricks with all our names on it. It's like a whole thing of generation. They have
That's pretty much where all the TV Yorks came from, right?
I think so.
Except York Van Patten.
York Peppermint Patty, yeah. Mm-hmm. Which I'm not really a big fan of.
Really?
It's too minty.
The mini ones, I have liked those. They instead of the big one they used to make. The little mini ones is not as bad.
Mm-hmm.
No, the mini ones are okay. It's not that the bigger one. It's like,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
that's too much. That's too much peppermint. Too much. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Have you tried gum lately? Because that's too much mint.
Yeah.
I mean, gum lately is just, it's like if you just want regular mint, it's just like it seems like everything's kind of up to 9.5 on.
I usually
mint
go with
levels.
I usually go with bubble yum.
Oh.
It's from when I was a kid. Where I've told this before. I was able to put 6 packs of bubble yum in my mouth and chew it.
And that's where you first got the name 6-Pack Jack.
6-Pack Jack. That's right. Had nothing to do with the abs of steel. Sherry says Junior Mints frozen are amazing. You and Kramer.
That's
it's a Junior Mint.
I mean, there's a lot of
That's ageist.
There's a lot of stuff though when you freeze it. It's like Reese's Buttercups are great frozen.
The Reese's peanut butter cups, not butter, not Reese's Buttercups.
Okay.
My son came up with this idea. He was like, "What if they made a Reese's coated in an M&M?" And I was like, "Well, that's never going to happen because it's two different." He was like, "Yeah, but what if?" And I'm like, "Fair point." So you
don't they have peanut M&Ms?
They have peanut butter M&Ms, but they're
sure, but you actually coat the whole thing, so it's almost like a double decker. Like a double decker.
Aren't Reese's Pieces peanut butter?
Yeah, Reese's is peanut butter, but then you do another layer shell around that or you do a vice versa. You have the chocolate in the middle, and then you have the Reese's shell around the outside. It's just.
I like Milky Ways. I like Twix.
It's better than
Three Musketeers.
I like Three Musketeers. It's funny. I like them, but it's not. It's like I have to eat them all the time. But it's like Twix. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that
Kit Kat bar.
No, nobody tell him. Nobody tell him.
Cat food. Chocolate covered graham crackers frozen. I'm not sure what Randy's doing there. Oh, thin mint Girl Scout cookies frozen. He also likes to.
I thought he was talking about freezing Girl Scouts.
Exactly.
Because you're a serial killer.
Check this guy. Check this guy's freezer. He's got some graham cracker kids in there too.
Yeah. Chocolate covered graham crackers frozen. So I guess what Randy's saying is you put the chocolate on the graham cracker.
I thought for a second he was also advertising for the movie Frozen, that you had to buy the Frozen themed graham crackers.
Oh, yeah.
But Randy,
is that
okay?
Because is that what you do? You take the chocolate, you put it on the graham, take the mellow, right?
Right. Yeah.
And you make a s'mores. How can I have s'mores when I haven't had any yet?
Now we've been using the bigger marshmallows, like they make the campfire ones that are like almost like a patty or like a square.
Oh yeah, but you're using the fat ones, yeah.
Yeah, using the fat ones. Of course, you have to have double tongs to hold that thing, from melting. But highly recommend those marshmallows just because it's such a, I don't know, it's better than those little wimpy ones from yesteryear.
Yeah, those are lazy ones.
Those are lazy.
I've never used the flat ones. I've always used the proper big ones because that's what
the really big one. They haven't been around forever, have they?
Randy is saying no.
Like
buy chocolate covered graham crackers and put them in the freezer. Gotcha.
I don't think I've ever seen chocolate covered graham crackers.
No, but that sounds good.
It might be a Pennsylvania thing.
Is one side covered in chocolate and then the other side is graham cracker, or is the whole thing? I need to know. Because that just sounds delicious in itself. Just give me a graham cracker and chocolate on the other side. You ever have like chocolate pie like that, where it's just graham cracker pie crust and then you got a chocolate kind of filling? I don't know.
No, the whole cracker is covered. Wow.
Okay.
I think I gotta try this because I think it would be good frozen.
Heart stopping.
Matt K says Keebler makes them. He thinks Keebler makes them.
Well, Keebler makes just about everything, right? They're connected with the whole syndicate.
Oh, yeah, totally. Those little elves are.
Those little elves, is basically us prepping us for, the next coming of Satan, really.
Yeah,
so it's all there, man.
I mean, they're idol worship. I mean, that's why they put their images on the cookies and all that.
Yeah, and they live in trees.
Yeah,
we go.
You can't tell me they're happy all the time either.
Well, they're high on sugar.
There is definitely some slave labor.
Were they kicked out of the North Pole?
They're not
different kind of elves.
They're not unionized.
They're different kind of elves.
They're different kind of elves. Yeah.
Okay, this is the question: can a Keebler elf become a dentist?
No, but they got a really great dental program, ironically.
Yeah. Well, they'd have to with all that chocolate
sugar. Oh yeah.
Selling.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting take. Could a Keebler elf become a dentist?
Yeah.
I want to be a dentist. Of course, he's the only one with hair. Again, all the other bald elves are bitter.
Yeah.
But you got what's his name?
They have that smooth 50s style though going with their outfits. So
they do.
And their eyebrows.
Do they have to sing for the head Keebler guy? Like the elves.
We've gone way off.
Well, I'm just asking these questions. I mean, you got elves. Are they from the same? Are they from the same DNA?
No.
Are they same?
As Buddy would say, Buddy the elf would say, "Oh, must be a South Pole elf."
South Pole, yeah.
So call me elf one more time.
He's an angry little elf.
Anyway,
I hate that they'll never make an elf 2, but then so much time has passed now where you kind of don't want an elf 2.
I mean, it's like you have a lot of another Christmas Vacation. It is what it is. It's like they tried to do another Christmas Story. It's just at some point it's just. Now I didn't mind the more recent one that they did, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. We're in the middle of summer still.
Yeah, true.
So
they're making a new Fistful of Dollars.
Yeah, I was.
It can't be Clint Eastwood though. He's like 95.
Right.
No, I heard it's just gonna be like another Italian director, but I don't.
Bang!
There's some movies that just shouldn't really be touched because it's gonna be hard to improve on them. Like my dad liked the new, was it the Wild Bunch they remade like a few years back with Denzel Washington or was it?
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah,
was it the Wild Bunch? Is that what you called it?
Or is it the other?
Magnificent Seven.
Magnificent Seven. That's it. Yeah, they remade the Magnificent Seven. Yeah, with Denzel and Chris Pratt and all that. And
yeah, it was okay.
I never saw it because it was just one of those things where like I don't want to watch because the first one's so good. I don't want to watch another version.
Sure.
It's true, Will. It was a remake of a Japanese movie anyway. But,
I didn't realize that they made another Charlie's Angel.
yeah, it completely tanked. Yeah.
Yeah.
One, there wasn't any.
Patrick Stewart was in it.
Yeah, there wasn't any advertisement for it, and not much anyway. And then Elizabeth Banks directed it, which I think a lot of people questioned anyway because she's not really known as a director. And then I don't really remember much of it. I remember there was a lot of backlash.
She directs what's that singing movies?
Singing movies.
Singing movies. Not Glee.
Well, non sequitur from that, my daughter and I watched a Mystery Science Theater 3000 riff on Angel's Revenge.
Yes.
And Angel's Revenge is basically like take Charlie's Angels and mix it with a little bit of A-Team and crisscross oh, I'm the dynamite expert, I'm the stunt driver, I'm the samurai person. And it's really gross.
It's probably not a good movie, right?
Well, this is how I learned that there was recently a Charlie's Angels because I told my daughter.
Well, they tried to reboot. They tried to reboot the Charlie's Angels TV show.
I was trying to explain to her. I was like, well, the fact that they used Angel's Revenge as the name, I'm like, they're clearly trying to make this have this. It's got that total late 70s, early 80s music and vibe. So it was a total. But anyway.
Well, you're talking about 80s vibe. I watched Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Oh.
Or 4.
No, Axel F? Did you watch Axel F?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it one's on Netflix.
It would be 4.
Yeah,
that's 4.
Is it 4? Yeah. Were there 3? Were there 3 of those?
Yes, there was. The third one was at a roller coaster
park. Amusement park, like a Disneyland. Yeah, it's
and
kind of like 93, 94, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
It's not.
Judge Reinhold's in that one too, I believe.
Yeah.
Did I see that one?
So
you're not missing anything.
No. Was Taggart in it? Was Taggart in it? Because he's like. He was probably only 90 back.
I don't believe Taggart when is in it. I think it was just Judge Reinhold was in it, and then Eddie Murphy. And I can't. Well, I don't even know if they brought in what's his name from the
Surge.
Yeah, Surge. I can't even. It doesn't.
Well, he wasn't in all 3, was he? The first 2, was he in both?
He's in the first one, and I think the second one too.
Yeah,
because he's great. He's great in the first one.
Yeah,
because you can even see Eddie Murphy cracking up. Is there?
Yeah,
because a lot of it was just improv, like them just kind of doing whatever.
So, inquiring minds want to know. What did you think of Axel F?
I gotta be honest. I thought it was okay.
It's just okay. Yeah.
I mean, there's times I laughed. I like the fact that they used the old music, in the thing. I thought I was expecting the worst.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's better. It's better than number 3, but it's still below 1 and 2.
I can't remember number 3.
So what I felt about it was, I agree with Jack. I'm glad they used the old music. I'm glad that they even kind of made some modern takes of the old music. But the two things were is that the plot and everything was very formula. So it's basically this. It's almost beat for beat the same.
Oh yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop. And the other thing was that I felt Eddie Murphy was not phoning it in, but I don't think he captured the character. I think he was just being Eddie Murphy. Because like I read that, I didn't realize that he quit doing the laugh, his natural laugh. He quit doing it sometimes. He quit doing it because people would walk up to him and do it. And so it made him uncomfortable. And so he thought, well, that's a stupid laugh. And so he got insecure about his own laugh and quit doing it. And he doesn't laugh like that, and he hadn't done it in like 30 years. And so it's like, well, if you're going to be the character, then you have to do the laugh, and he doesn't.
Well, he's kind of a prima donna. I mean, he's got some issues, but I
also
here are some images from Beverly Hills Cop 3, and
George Lucas is in it.
Apparently, George Lucas makes a cameo, which is just somehow hilarious and gross at the same time. But look at these high wire acts.
Okay, maybe I did
through.
see this.
So
yeah, basically, I don't remember. Like, I haven't seen it in probably 20 or 25 years, Jack. But basically, it's,
look at my butt.
I want to say that they're running drugs or something underneath Disneyland. Like there's like it's an amusement park. And of course, they don't say Disneyland, but because of all the tunnels and all the stuff that's underneath it, it's a perfect area to do that stuff.
To be a drug dealer, yeah.
Yeah, and that's basically the premise.
Well,
okay, yeah. I'm starting to get some clicks, some memory come back because I remember I remember being in a park. So okay, yeah.
Okay.
I think I've seen it once in my life.
Me too.
And the thing is, it's funny is that the cops in LA are always happy to see him when he comes to town, and I'm like, do you have that short term of a memory? Like, you should arrest him as soon as he comes to town because pandemonium happens.
People die.
Yeah,
cats and dogs living together.
There's. I mean, how many cars got destroyed in this movie?
Spoilers.
I mean, I know it's Beverly Hills.
Spoilers. Axel F.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right, so you're rating it out of 10, Jack.
Out of 10.
Give us your
I'd give it a 6.5.
Yeah, that's about accurate.
I thought like Nick said, kind of phoning it in. There were some parts you're like going, okay, this is gonna be good. He's gonna mess with the guy, like when he goes into the repo thing, and I'm like going, and his daughter, who he's got. Okay, spoiler: they're not friends. They're not on good terms.
Oh yeah, total distraught with the
And so anyway, she needs to clear her client, right?
Yeah.
So they're kind of working together, and she throws a wrench into his eye. And she goes, well, "Where did you hear this? Did you see this movie?" I go, "Why would you say that?" That was
just trying to mess him up. Yeah,
I get that.
He's trying to help her, but yeah,
she's trying to clear her client. Shut the fuck up! I'm gonna say it right now, and that's what Eddie should have said. Shut the fuck up!
He should shut the fuck up. No, we're not.
No, shut the fuck up. But yeah, it was okay. It was just it was. I liked it. I watched the whole thing. I wasn't really overly bored, but like Nick said, it's basically the first one.
Yeah, it's beat for beat. It's very clear, as in like like, okay, here's the intro to the town.
Wait. You mean it's beat for beat like the first one? So there's a strip club?
No, I mean like
they do talk about it.
Yeah, they do talk about it. That's right. They're
like, this is what we're gonna do. It's a little nod to all of the strip club fans.
As in, like, the villain is introduced early on, and you kind of go, "Oh, well, that's going to be the bad guy," and sure enough, that's the bad guy. And you're like,
I mean, they didn't, because Cindy goes, "Well, it's going to be too obvious that he's the bad guy." I go, "No, I think he's going to be the bad guy. I don't think they care. They just just slapped it on the wall." Yeah, he's a famous actor. You may have heard of him.
Yeah.
Rhymes with sausage.
Tom Berenger.
Doesn't rhyme with sausage, but
it's a
good breakfast. It's something good. It smells good. Michael Scott loved to wake up to the smell of this.
Schnitzel bacon. Arnold.
There you go.
Arnold Baconator.
Arnold Bacon Theater. Yes, it was Arnold Bacon.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's in it?
The 6 Degrees of Arnold Bacon.
Okay, I'm getting you loud and clear. No, I heard he was in it, but that makes sense because it also is definitely. I mean, sometimes he could play that character.
But they don't hide it though. It's like right away.
Like, you might as well just have a mustache twirling moment.
But yeah, the whole time I'm watching, I go, did he get some work done?
Yeah.
I just because
everybody seems to be. Speaking of people getting work done, and and we can totally talk about more Beverly Hills Cop. I'm sure everybody.
No, we're good. We're good.
Okay. I hadn't caught this until recently. We kind of sat down and we were like, oh hey, let's watch this Friends reunion thing. I hadn't watched that.
You never saw it?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd heard about it.
Luckily they had it when they did.
Well, apparently he had emergency because like something was wrong.
Well, even Gunther's in it, and he passed away. Shortly after that, and I think that's why he was video. In. Yeah, go ahead.
He died shortly after that, right?
Right. That's what I thought.
Yeah. Apparently, something was wrong with his teeth, and he had like emergency surgery like the day before all that happened, which is another reason why he looks so weird.
Who?
Matthew Perry.
Matthew Perry.
Oh,
I figured that's who you were alluding to.
no, but he definitely seems withdrawn.
Yeah.
And then the comment that hits so heavy is the one was like, "What? I didn't get a call." like there's this moment where like I can't remember who says like, "Oh yeah, if somebody like texts or something like that or calls, like we all call and blah blah blah," and then Matthew Perry's like, I didn't get a call or something like that.
Yeah, it was kind of there were some awkward moments.
Yeah.
Do you know what part I'm talking about? It's fairly early.
It's been a while since I've seen it. But
I just saw it when it aired, and that was
okay.
intense.
Well, it's I want to say it's within the first 30 minutes, but when it happened, I was like, ooh, yeah, that one really, like, if you watch it and you watch the body language, you're like,
yeah. Well, I remember them telling us. I think it was Matt LeBlanc was telling. Matthew Perry was talking about something, and LeBlanc interrupted him, and he kind of went,
mm-hmm.
the story. Because, he just wasn't the same guy. I mean,
right.
The new conspiracy theory is that he was murdered, not
drowned. Well, yeah, because there's two people. Charlie Sheen's ex-wife is a person of interest.
Oh, Denise Richards or
no.
Yeah, another one.
Okay. Another ex-wife. I think she was a stripper. I think
the good one.
Yeah,
the good
or I don't know, but she met him at rehab. And then she, she may have, I don't know. They confiscated her phone and her computer. So we shall see. We shall see.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of documentaries, I think we brought it up because I think Jack and I saw it, but I'm not sure. But no, maybe not. But the Brats with Andy McCarthy is a hard.
I haven't seen it yet. No,
it's a hard pass. Like don't.
Oh,
well,
okay.
That's why I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I mean
you said it wasn't very good.
It's not because if you that's what I've said. I even talked to a coworker who saw it too, and I was like, yeah, if you're expecting an '80s nostalgia documentary about the '80s movies, this isn't what you're going to get. To me, it seems more like, because I know he battled alcoholism for a while, and I think it's kind of him coping with a lot of stuff, and he's just trying to get feedback on people who might have had the same process that he did. But the thing is that almost all of them are, dude, get over it. It's just kind of like, it is what it is. And,
I mean, you were doing something obviously you love to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think so. I mean, you reached a certain level too of fame and popularity.
I think the demons he's battling is why did my career drop off? And it probably was because of alcoholism. And I think he's also searching for, because I was labeled this, it hindered my career. But, when you talk to Rob Lowe, when you talk to Demi Moore, some of these other people, it's like, it didn't hinder their, career. So, and then of course, some people aren't in it at all, like Molly Ringwald and Judd Nelson's not in it.
And Molly Ringwald, she decided to stop pretty much to raise a family, right?
Who all is included?
Pretty much all the Brat Pack except those two and
Judd
Anthony
Nelson.
And Anthony Michael Hall. Anthony Michael Hall's not in it, and neither is Judd Nelson or Molly Ringwald. But all the rest of the Brat Pack make an appearance.
But wait, Anthony Michael Hall wasn't
Matthew,
part of the Brat Pack, was he?
There's different lists. He is on the Wikipedia list, but then some people don't include him.
I didn't think he was included because he didn't hang out with those guys.
He didn't. Yeah, I tend to think of it. Everyone that was in St.
Elmo's Fire.
Same Elmo's Fire as that to me is the Brat Pack. But of course there is a few more because Molly Ringwald's not in it either. But it's
Judd Nelson is the one that completely dropped off the face of the earth. I mean, he just
he did have that one TV show that he was in for that hot minute, right? Like
what
I can't remember.
Beverly Hills Cop 5.
Judd Nelson. Judd Nelson.
Judd Nelson.
No, I thought he was on a TV show, but maybe I'm thinking of somebody.
He did a movie where he plays a lawyer. and he does this thing where he pours cold water on someone taking a shower, and I stole that and would do it all the time. I just sit there, like when Cindy was taking a shower, I'd get a bucket and just stir ice in there, make it nice and cold, and then go and just pour it on her and then walk away. And I also did it at the rink. We had years ago we had cold showers anyway, but I'd go down to where the Zamboni, we drop the ice, get a 5-gallon bucket, and get it all cold, fill it with water, turn out the lights on people, take a shower, dump it off. I think at a time or two someone's heart stopped, but I can't be responsible.
Lawsuits are coming. Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe I don't know, but that's why I turned off the lights.
Truth's coming out here.
Matt Kay says with Brooke Shields. Oh, the show was with Brooke Shields.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now I do remember. It was Suddenly Susan, right?
I'm trying to find it. I'm in the IMDb.
Well, he hasn't done much.
He has. He's done quite a bit. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, he voices a lot. He does a lot of voice stuff. Mixes a lot of cameos into a lot of different TV shows. So not a lot of reviewed or well-known things. But yeah, and now I'm going backwards now. But I can't remember what that show is. I should move on. Cybermutt.
Well, allegedly he had sex with Nicole. What's her name? Nicole. Not Nicole.
Dark Asylum. No.
She died. She passed away.
Oh, Anna Nicole Smith.
Anna Nicole Smith. Yes.
Well, who did
at the Playboy Mansion?
Oh,
it's funny. We saw her. I was at the Stratosphere, and she came by, and she's basically being held up by two guys because she was shit-faced drunk, passed out. And I go, "Is that Anna Nicole Smith?" And the guy working there said, "Yeah, this is about the same time she comes back, hammered and barely able to walk." I go, "Oh, that's sad."
She always seemed like a train wreck, though.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And then the other documentary, I know Matt and I watched it.
He was on 2.5 Men. He was on 2 episodes.
What was he? Oh, I think I remember him making it at least one guest appearance on that show.
I can't seem to find this Brooke Shields show. Like, I'm like, what other show was he on? He was like on Ben 10 of all things. He has a voice on there. The Bandit Hound. These are not great things. Oh, from straight A's to triple X. Damn. Dude, fell in some hard times. And then Transformers Titan Return. I bet he was thinking he was Billionaires.
Is that a cartoon? What is that?
Yeah, Okay. Empire. He was on Empire for 4 episodes. Santa Fake. Well, I have lost the thread of this puppy. So anyway, move on. We lost Jack.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the other documentary that I was going to bring up was, hence the opening song was, I know you and I both watched.
Yeah, the Jim Henson.
Idea Man.
We need to talk quick before he comes back and we get interrupted.
I know. Yeah. I enjoyed it. Hey, Jack. I enjoyed it. I had forgotten how young he was when he died.
Who are you talking about?
I was
Jim Henson. We watched the documentary.
So the third documentary on
Disney Plus
is called Jim Henson Idea Man, and it's only an hour and a half. So
it's very recent. Just came out.
Came out, yeah. And it goes through his entire life and talks about. And it's actually quite interesting, especially if you don't know a lot about Jim Henson, in that he always considered himself to be more of an entertainer than anything, and he had always done Muppets his entire life, and by the time you get to 1970, they come to him and say, "Hey, we want you to make a children's program." And so he made Sesame Street, for that. And that's really what really exploded him. But in a way, he was typecast as like this children's entertainer. No, I mean, he was kind of typecast for a while as this children's.
You said exploded him.
Exploded. Yeah. Well, right.
Well, I mean, there is a lot of explosion in Muppet things, So,
but and then after he had kind of done that and let other people take it over, he wanted to do the Muppet Show, and nobody in America would take it because he was a children's entertainer, you know, and
Yeah.
it wasn't until one guy over in England gave him the opportunity to make.
I thought that was brilliant. It also like I had known that it was recorded in England, and I knew aspects of that story.
I didn't know that,
but watching it like really cemented in kind of like the kind of chronological aspect of his career, and really his vision and his drive as an artist. So and you really kind of see him as kind of more of a entertainer artist,
Right.
not as just like, oh, he's the Muppet guy, he's Kermit. But and if it doesn't kind of warm your heart a little bit, then you know.
Yeah, he's one of those few people that when it's done with, you know, a lot of times when artists die early, you kind of go, well, they've kind of done what they've done, you know, or what they're going to do. And Jim Henson was one of those people you're like, wow, like he probably would have done a lot more cool shit.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
how old was he when he died?
53.
Wow.
And you hate it. I hate it. You did feel sorry for him, especially in the 80s, because I like The Dark Crystal. I like Labyrinth. Right. You know, I like these more adult stuff he was doing, but were not commercially successful.
And you look at some of the special effects and the way he was doing, and really, you know, like some of the special effects for Labyrinth, like that shoot with all of the arms, you know, and that like it's pretty inventive, and you know, you watch it and you think, oh, you know, Seinfeld, they went out top of his game, you know,
right?
And like he's the first one that did it or something like that, and it's like, no, Jim Henson, and like he was at the top of the game with the Muppets, and he was like, I'm not doing this anymore,
right?
And walked away from it. So it's
they talk about a little bit about that, Randy, too, as well.
Yes,
he's on a few, because that was kind of his first kind of way of, let's get what I want to do next out there, at least. But, you know.
And it wasn't working with that audience, but he didn't stop. I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing about, you know, people that kind of keep picking at something like, oh, hey, there's another way to do this. So
do you think? I was thinking, because I've thought about this for a while, because you said he was typecast as a children's creator.
Yeah.
You think that back then in the 50s, 60s, 70s, even 80s, that people got typecast more than they do now?
Oh, for sure.
I think
because you look at so many actors, especially I always say about child actors is, okay, you may have gotten typecast, but a lot of times you're just not talented enough. You didn't work at your craft. You didn't grow with it, or just things happened to you that shouldn't have happened.
Well, I mean, look at how many actors were able to kind of take what they did from one show and then navigate on and do more. I mean, Lucille Ball, maybe the most, as far as like, hey, I'm gonna take what I've learned and not only like keep it going, but like help these other people like keep going creatively. Like,
well, it used to be that movie actors would not do TV. Because once you went to TV, you were done.
Yeah,
you're just
it's just like performing in Vegas as a musician. You know, for a long time, it was considered like that's where the musicians go to die. It was Las Vegas, and then now it's like, I have a, you know,
Vegas has also changed too. It's more it's more about entertainment. Of course, they want you to gamble, but it's more about entertainment than it used to be.
No, Jack, you being a West Wing fan, I mean, I would say West Wing, but then also, you know, perhaps even the independent movie scene with like the Tarantino movies. I think that really helped kind of bring more like big actors to the TV screen, you know? Like,
yeah, probably. Yeah. But also, I think
I'm trying to think of like before,
because you had Rob Lowe, you had Martin Sheen.
I mean, Martin Sheen, I felt like it was such a big draw, because you were like, oh, you're watching movie quality TV here.
Right.
Like, you're not just watching your everyday, you know. But then, you know, like what I mean, I guess, about those independent movies is that they would oftentimes have like a big Hollywood name that could kind of anchor their small budget film that was kind of like, you know, trying to break through, you know.
Well, you had Superman had Marlon Brando in the first movie. He's only in for what, 17 minutes, and I've never seen the clip of Christopher Reeves.
Yeah,
he didn't like him. He goes,
a lot of people didn't. Yeah,
he goes basically he just, you know, he didn't care.
Sure.
Yeah,
he goes, you know, you're only doing a few minutes, at least care.
Yeah,
and he's like, wow, because Marlon Brando towards the end.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah,
like when the Val documentary came out,
yeah,
how he was crushed. You know, that he was hardly ever there. You know, for Alan Dr. Moreau. Yeah.
Right.
Just to
stand-ins.
But before, just to alley-oop and before we forget, it's worth a watch though. If you like Muppets or you just like Jim Henson and you want to know more.
I think it's worth watching even if you've never even seen or heard of the Muppets. I mean, I think it's
true.
I think it's just interesting to see how someone's craft developed,
and also his relationship with other creators and his family and his wife. Like it's pretty fascinating. What's up?
I thought that was interesting.
But wait. At this time we should take a commercial break.
I thought it was even interesting though, like hearing his son talk about how when he decided to work with his dad, you know, on the Labyrinth, it was so interesting to see him as a different person, because he said, you know, when it was family time, he was very much a dad. Like, oh, I want to bestow this information on you. I want, you know, you to see me as a dad. But he goes, but when I actually went to work with him, I saw him as a kid. He goes, because that was him switching modes, to having fun and being a kid again. To live in that imagination was really something interesting to witness.
Or Frank Oz makes a comment about him, and he says something like, you know, it took me 9 years to like, what was it? Damn. I mean, it's funny because he knew him for a while, but it took it was like it took him 9 years to actually be able to work with him as an artist.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what they even talk about that. Like when he first started working with him, it was a bit different because Frank Oz was a proper puppeteer and had done actual audience and knew how to command an audience with a puppet. Whereas in Jim Henson had done commercials and other things where it didn't require that type of talent. And like I said, it's just an interesting. It's only an hour and a half, but it's got a lot of really.
It's like Disney Plus. You said.
Disney Plus,
yeah.
Yep, it's got a lot of heart, so it's something that you could even watch with kids. So
I don't want anything with heart in it.
Yeah, I even like little things like how Frank Oz found Miss Piggy, you know, and how and there's a lot of it just interesting how the characters.
Well, was Miss Piggy like working on the streets or something?
No, just when how they come up with the character.
$5.
So because it's just a puppet until they actually create the character. And he said in one of the first scenes ever with Kermit, he was supposed to slap. Miss Piggy was supposed to just slap Kermit. He goes, but I accidentally did a karate chop, instead of a slap. He goes, and from that point on, I knew the character. I knew what to do with Miss Piggy. Of like, instead of just being subtle and like slapping, it was like, no.
She was pretty violent.
It was very like.
Yeah, she's pretty violent, and she's a sexual harasser. I mean, she sexually harassed Kermit quite a bit.
I mean, really, puppets just come down to Punch and Judy. I mean, it goes all the way back to that. Really, you just boil it down. So,
another show I want to bring up. Did you recommend if you guys haven't started watching it on Apple? I think. Let me look. The remake of it is Apple. The remake of Presumed Innocent, which was a Harrison Ford movie back in the 80s. Jake Gyllenhaal is doing an 8-part, I think, episode of that, and it's really good.
Really?
Yeah.
Does he?
Never mind. The storm is ridiculous.
What? Yeah. Losing reception?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, he's free. Yeah, I can hear you, Jack. You've had the audio the whole time. Just you've kind of frozen, but you're good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I can see myself moving, but
yeah, it's good. Like, I mean, Jake Gyllenhaal is. I'm not sure if I think of him as a A-list actor, but he's usually never afraid to bring it. And he's really bringing it on this role for sure. So
He's not
I've
afraid
enjoyed
to
it.
eat humans that are dead.
Well, what movies don't you like with Jake Gyllenhaal?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I'd have to look at his list, but
Like, I mean, Brokeback Mountain, solid, right?
Never
acting
saw it.
wise, yes. I never thought much of the plot of Brokeback Mountain because I felt it was
two
just
men going up on the mountain together and can't quitting each other.
No, I just felt if you look at it, it's really just a romance story. That's how I looked at it.
We only need one saddle.
And so I was like, okay, I get this, a forbidden love type thing.
Right.
But I was like, but aside from that, like, what is the story of Brokeback Mountain? I didn't get the hype really.
Well,
acting wise, it's great.
It's kind of like on the levels of Bridges of Madison County. It's just like, well, beyond the love story, like what is the point of
right.
of the? I mean, seriously, like
I couldn't watch that. No, I'm talking about Bridges of Madison County.
No, I know.
Oh, that's interesting. Matt Kay says Spider-Man turned me off of him almost completely. I can see that. I really could.
He was the villain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he just kind of I'm not sure if he actually played a character in that movie. He kind of it was a very straightforward kind of role.
Okay.
Randy says the bikers. Yeah, that's been on my list. It's not priority.
It's funny.
Or is that he's just bringing up that movie?
He's just bringing up that movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny you brought that up, Big Jake Gyllenhaal. It's like, okay,
because we got to take another commercial break.
No, Jack Froze. Exactly.
That no. I go, what? No, you mentioned him. We've all heard of him, but it's like, okay, what's his best movie?
Donnie Darko.
Well, Donnie Darko, yeah, is great. That's early on.
Is he in Donnie Darko?
He is
He's the
Donnie
main guy.
He's the Darko. He's the Donnie
really?
Darko.
Yeah, and then
I don't remember
the one with the rockets is the NASA. That's a good one. That's another early one.
Which one's that one?
He plays a Marine too, doesn't he? And
that's Jarhead. Jarhead's
Jarhead. I love Jarhead.
Yeah, Jarhead.
Let me just look
pretty intense. But
I saw he was recently in Roadhouse, which I have not.
I have not seen. So
yeah, I heard it was pretty bad.
And,
I mean, they try to do their own thing with it, which I respect. They didn't try to just do a straight up copy.
October Sky.
October Sky is a great movie. If you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Yeah, but only watch it in October.
Yeah, only in October.
It's like any other.
No, I'm a rebel. I do it in November. Sorry.
If you do it too late, then it doesn't count. So.
Ouch.
I mean, granted, this is 2004 when he's probably 25, maybe at the time. Day After Tomorrow is not the greatest film.
No.
Oh, I watched that when I was getting my blood transfusion. Watching that. Iron transfusion, I should say.
Bubble Boy, that's a pretty bad film.
I never saw Bubble Boy.
City Slickers, yeah. His little cameo at the end, yeah.
Is he in City Slickers?
He's at the very end when they're picking him up. He's the son.
Is he what they call a nepo baby?
Because of his sister?
No, I don't know. I have no idea who his parents are.
Baby, but, yeah.
So I just figured his parents are some Hollywood moguls that.
Well, he has two sisters, right? That act.
No, just one. He just has one.
Yeah, just.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure, but I mean,
where's Chris when we need him?
I know. Let's see. He. I have no personal details on him.
Okay, so Jake Gyllenhaal, parents.
I'm looking him up.
Doesn't list.
The guy's deep dive on
personal life.
The Gyllenhaal.
Jake's sister Maggie is married to Peter Sarsgaard. Doesn't say anything else about another.
I liked Prince of Persia.
His parents are.
He was in that.
Stephen Gyllenhaal. So,
but isn't Orlando Bloom in that Prince of Persia? Or am I thinking of something else?
So yeah, both his mom and dad were in the biz.
Yeah, his godfather is Paul Newman, and his godmother is Jamie Lee Curtis.
Whoa!
Yeah, he's a nepo. Who am I thinking about this?
I don't care. I mean, good on them for using their power, but
I never understood the problem with it. Think of another actor. Sister doesn't. She only.
His sister was in one of the Batman movies.
Mm-hmm.
She was in Shameless.
No.
No.
He's not Emmy Rossum.
No.
Was Gyllenhaal was in? I don't remember her in Shameless.
Who am I thinking about? That must be thinking about a different actor. You know, the one that always
Maggie Gyllenhaal is his sister. So
okay, I'm gonna have to look this.
Who
up.
was in?
Who am I thinking about?
She was.
Oh, okay. No, I'm thinking of the other person. Let me look at. That's who they have. He has two sisters. Okay, I'm looking it up because I can't remember the person's name. Shocker.
She really hasn't been in.
Yeah, she hadn't done much in a long time.
Yeah, 2020 was her last project, so maybe she was just like, "Hey, I've made enough money.
I'm done.
Yeah. I'm gonna have kids, and I'm not buying into your system."
Let's see. So, Cusack is what I'm thinking of. Joan Cusack.
Oh,
and John Cusack, and he has a sister.
Yeah,
right.
That I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
I would never accuse Zach of him anything.
Anyway,
that's like they're like.
I went and saw. I was wondering if Nick had seen it, but I watched Horizon: An American Saga.
So I thought about it. I really thought about seeing it opening weekend, and I read some pretty, I wouldn't say bad reviews, but mixed reviews. And then my dad saw it because my dad's a big fan of Westerns like you are, Jack. And he had the same opinion of it needed to be 2 hours, not 3. The first hour is a lot of what the fuck is going on. Kevin Costner does not show up until an hour into the film.
Yeah.
And so that's what, and I've heard that several times from other people as well, is that it just feels like a long, 4 parts. Yeah, it feels like it's just a long opening act that none of the stories connect yet because it's the opening act. So it's like, what am I watching? It's, and so it's very confusing. I think it probably will be better by the second part, but I'm going to just wait and watch it when it comes on HBO or whatever.
They're not going to show it in August now? Sons of bitches.
Wait, what?
My question. Yeah.
Go.
They delayed the release
of the second movie was supposed to be out August 16th.
I feel sorry for Cosner in a way because he's been trying to make this, I think, for 20 years, and no one has ever bitten until now. And
I got to tell you, once I figured out what they were doing, because I'm like going, I was like a lot of people because I didn't read any reviews. I try not to read any reviews before I go, unless I'm on. But I was like going, oh, I see. They're blocked. Boom, boom, boom. They're moving ahead without really telling us they're moving ahead. I mean, they had certain times they were doing. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was filmed. The filming of it was great. The acting is fantastic. It's intense. I mean, there's some scenes you're like going, all right, this is intense, and you're like going. I was like, Jay, I think it would have been a better show if it was like a 10-part series. Go ahead, Matt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why would I go see this in the movie if I know I can just stream, if I can just wait it out and stream it all together?
Well,
why the drive to see this in the movie?
I think it's because I think Costner, it comes from a movie era and he likes that format. And aside from Yellowstone, which is a soap opera, I don't think he wanted to have those things compared. Like, oh, like here's another Western from Costner. Like, no, like this.
But it's 4 parts anyway. It just feels kind of like you're waxing on.
Yeah, I agreed. I agreed with Jay. I said, yeah, it would have been like if it was on Netflix or like Randy said, great scenery for a big screen. It was, and it has some funny scenes in it, and it has some scenes you're like going, oh my god, this is sad.
But I mean, I guess the spectacle of seeing it in the big screen, if it's got cool landscape, and I want to experience in the widescreen format, but I'm not sure what's going to drive a customer like me who's already out, because I'm like, I'll watch it when it's on TV, and then I watch it, and I'm like, okay, I could just stream it. I'll just wait until I can stream it all.
I would watch it again. I mean,
okay,
I'm
just not sure what drives new customers to say like,
I'm
now
kind
it's
of
part 4, so now I'm going to go and see.
I'm a Western guy, so I like stuff like this. Again, it did like the first 20 minutes. I'm like going, what the fuck am I watching? What is going on here?
Is there an acid trip involved or something?
No, they just keep.
Is it two robots? Is it two robots lost in the desert and
exactly
you don't see another human being for a while?
That would be cool. It opens up
Yeah.
Space.
It opened up in space. Yeah. But these two robots are just in the desert, and you're like,
Hands
what the
down.
fuck am I watching? It's just two robots talking. One's just not even talking, he's just beeping, and the other one's just making up shit.
Come on, R2, let's fucking get through this desert together.
Yeah.
Then Cosmos comes out and just shoots him with a pistol.
It was because what
I think
it starts off. You got this guy surveilling his, I don't know what he's doing. To be honest with you, he's got his young son, and I guess the wife is there too, and then of course they end up dead from the Indians, and it just keeps going on, and you're like going.
That is not.
But that's where it's the story starts. But at first you don't know. Okay, what's this guy? I go, this guy shows up. What the fuck is going on? And then they're showing the Kansas territory, the Wyoming territory. And, I said, oh, eventually they're all going to end up, because they keep showing the horizon. And I go, oh, they're all going to end up together.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
I mean, I just thought. I liked it. Again, I know it's not for everybody, and I'm almost like Matt. I wish it was all out at once. I could just, because I wanted to watch.
I guess that's just my skeptical part of the cinematic part. Like, I mean, sure, I'm a Star Wars guy. I like to see the spectacle of space on the big screen. I want to go to the so if I know that there's 3 movies that I'm in, but then when it's 3 hours long, I'm like, what is this Lord of the Rings crap?
Yeah, that's how I was with Lord of the Rings.
It's just walking.
But with what I was, my take was halfway through the movie, I go, why are we fighting over this spot? There's got to be a better place to live.
It's called the frontier. Move the fuck on.
No, this was like in a desert somewhere. It was like the Grand Canyon. You're going, okay, there's got to be better places to live. There has to be. I go, why are we fighting over this? But what was funny as we were driving to the theater, Jay was meeting us there. All of a sudden, this guy sticks his finger out the window. I go, why is this guy flipping me off? What the fuck did I do? Fucking asshole. And I'm looking around. I go, was he? I turned to say, was he flipping me? She goes, I think he was. And I'm like going, the fuck? And then finally, it was Jay. He saw that I was getting mad, so he showed that it was him. Jay flipped me off. I was like, because I didn't recognize his car. I'm like, motherfucker.
So speaking of that, I don't know how you two didn't interject. I kept wanting to interject that Jay actually had a negative thought about a movie. A criticism. Well, he didn't go, wow.
He actually liked the movie, and my wife liked it. She just didn't like the jumping around part. She doesn't like backstories and all this different stuff going on. She doesn't like that. And I go, but yeah, once you figured, she goes, yeah, once I figured out what they were doing, it was like a lot of people said, like, but she likes
Downton Abbey, and that's got some moving around.
Yeah. Well, it's
on
British.
one location.
It's British. If these guys were walking around and it was England somewhere, and it was the Horizon English saga,
British crime mystery. Like, I mean, it's like these people were just bred on Sherlock Holmes. I mean, every other show on BritBox is just basically crime, drama, mystery.
It's culture.
Sure.
It's because let's face it, they don't have the range that we have in America.
Yeah. The range, the horizon.
And then the rest of it's just all EastEnders. Like, do we have any British people that listen to the show? I'm curious.
I'm sure we do.
Send us an email.
If it's not about the Queen or something else, it's like, whatever.
The Queen.
But I finished BSG.
Oh, wow. Knocked it out.
So spoilers ahead for everything on BSG.
I think it's been long enough.
Okay.
But it's funny. It's one of those shows that when I finish it, I'm depressed because you get so into I can watch another episode of BSG tonight. Right. And you watch it. I go, oh man, do I wait? I even started watching because usually I fast forward through the intro. Last like 6 episodes, I go, I'm gonna watch the intro. But I did notice something I had never noticed before. When sick, and this is another thing too. All the people they're killing because of the war, how does Caprica get to live? She's behind. She was the main cause of didn't she She's the one that got Baltar to give her.
Just following orders.
But still, 8 billion people died because of her act. Yet she's able to just walk the world free of all the people. Boomer gets shot. Boom, boom, boom. Come on. The whole time I'm going, wait a minute. Why does she get to live? There's other 6s they could have brought in. Am I right? Anyway, but there's a part where she's pregnant and she goes to get some beans or something because there's food shortage.
I forgot she got pregnant. Yeah.
And by Ty, Colonel Ty is the one that impregnates her. Before he realized he was it before he realized he was Cylon?
Probably before, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, good for him. But
still get it up. Good for him.
Yeah, good. Well, good for him. And he's only got one eye, so
he's got whiskey dick. It's just
whiskey dick. But there's a part where the doctor's saying, just go home. He's coddle. He's always bum.
Right.
But when she's saying, Saul, this is our chance to keep the Cylon, our whatever they call themselves, going to live on. And you look at the nurse, and she's like she's hearing it, and she's not liking what she's saying, right? And so Doc Coddle thinks the baby's fine. The nurse is listening to it. We never see it, but she ends up miscarrying that baby.
Right?
Did the nurse do something to the baby?
It's a good observation.
I mean, we never see it.
Never see it.
But did
the nurse take the baby? No.
Well, the baby was only 4 months. Baby was only 4 months old.
Yeah.
Sorry. But I'd never thought about that before, and I was like going, she doesn't seem happy about what she's saying. She's realizing because, again, and I get why people were upset because all of a sudden we're working with people that tried to eliminate us.
Right.
And they did eliminate. I mean, everybody lost a family member, at least, or someone they knew and loved. So now we're supposed to work with these people because they're in trouble. No, I just I get why people. I don't know. Like to say it. Would people go work with the Nazis? No. Right.
Oh, Jack, you muted yourself.
That's interesting. He started talking about Nazis,
and he
he
gets muted immediately.
He self-muted himself because of. Oh, welcome back, Jack.
We could for a second.
You were
no, they can't.
I'm saying the skin.
You
can't hear me.
You switched to like your headphones mic or something.
Oh, son of! I quit. I fucking quit.
Think about what you're gonna say. He looks like he's frozen now. Nope.
I think I brought this up last week. Oh, great. Now you're good.
No, I'm just saying I don't know if I would work with the skin jobs either.
Wow.
Cracking toasters.
Wow.
Jack, I'm just saying I think you would still be swayed pretty easily by 6.
Oh, because of the by 6? Okay.
She was and is a smoke show.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
I recommend.
I'm just saying. I think logistically speaking, you'd be the first one that would be like, "Okay, fine, okay, we'll just go over."
You should. I recommend.
I get to room with you.
Yeah.
All right. You guys aren't that bad.
I've recommended this to you guys a couple times, but it's 2 seasons. It's a web series. You can buy it on Amazon for like $3 a season. Called Con Man, and Alan Tudyk wrote it and stars in it. And
I remember.
She is in 2 episodes. I can't remember which season it is, but it's comedic gold. Like because
who?
Number 6.
Oh, she's in it.
Yeah, basically anyone that was in sci-fi.
Okay.
In the early 2000s has a cameo in
Con
the series.
Man.
Yeah, CON-MA.
Well, now you want to watch it, huh, Matt?
I
know he's talked about it 100 times.
No, well, I mean, sometimes it takes 100 times for it to get through my thick skull, and maybe even Trisha Helfer.
Yeah. We're talking about. Or just takes you saying, "Oh, she's in it. She's in Lucifer too."
She's in what?
Lucifer.
Oh, okay. The show.
Oh, okay.
She plays God's wife.
Oh, well.
Oh, she's Lucifer's mom.
Ah, okay. That makes sense now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think we actually see God.
Well, yeah.
He was too busy.
Yeah. He's just too bright. You can't see him anyway.
He's too busy going, oh, they're probably over there. Sorry. Didn't see it.
Yeah.
I was busy.
Yeah, I think she's in 1 or 2 episodes of Con Man. And basically, I can't remember how they meet, but there's another convention happening at the conference center that he's having his convention at. And she basically tells him that she's a new mother. And it goes to show you like what men will put up with if they think you're hot, because she's crazy. Like she has a baby doll and she thinks it's a real baby. And like he has to keep pretending that it's a real baby. And then she leaves him to go to the bathroom. And of course, what's he do? He breaks the baby doll and he's trying to fix it. And it's just hilarious.
What is this on? Con Man's on what?
I'm pretty sure you can just Google it on Amazon, and you can buy each season. There's only 2 seasons, and I think they're $3 a season because you can get through the whole thing pretty quick. But they're comedic gold. They're so good, and I hate that you didn't do more of them.
I have to buy them.
I'm finally finishing Billy the Kid's second season.
Oh,
because I came home after watching.
It says it might be on Freevee.
Oh, okay.
Oh, free. Oh, so you just have to watch commercials.
Yeah, it looks like it might be on Freevee, as what IMDb was saying. Now, sometimes IMDb is not always correct, but or the Roku channel. So
okay. Well, I mean, that's how I watched it anyway. It was Amazon. Okay. But yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool if you can get it for free. Awesome. But yeah, basically every single cast member except from Firefly. Basically every person from Firefly is on the show at some point, except Adam Baldwin and the one from V.
The one from V.
The hot one.
Yeah, the hot one. Yeah.
Oh, I'm out.
Yeah, but everyone else makes an appearance. Yeah. But yeah, they make fun of Adam Baldwin a lot because the show that he's supposed to be typecast for is kind of like a Firefly-esque show.
Oh,
and he's played by Rollins, you know, the crazy guy. He was a musician, Henry Rollins. He's played by Henry Rollins.
Oh, okay.
And basically, you're muted, Matt, if you didn't know. Okay. I'm
not supposed to know I was muted, but you know.
Henry Rollins, though, like when he makes his appearance, like he hates Alan Tudyk because he blames Alan Tudyk for ruining his career. He's like, "You outed me as a Republican." And he's like, "I thought everybody knew." Like he's like, "No one will hire me because of you." And like they get all pissed. And it's like I said, you just gotta watch it. It's funny.
I'm gonna watch it. Also, I because I had watched the first season of Billy the Kid. It was free on Amazon. And then you have to sign up for MGM, their streaming service. I go, oh, come on. So I kept saying, fuck it. So finally the other day I go, I'm almost done with BSG. I'm going to finish Billy the Kid. So what I did is I signed up for a 7-day free trial. And I just have to finish for the 7. But I looked at their movies. They had a lot of great, of course it's MGM. There's a lot of great movies on that. I said, well, maybe I do it for a month and watch the movies because there's so many great movies. You're still muted, Matt.
He knows.
Oh, I know. I'm producer of the year. I know.
Fuck you, Jack. No, what app are you talking about?
MGM.
It's the MGM streaming service.
Yeah, there's too many. Like I need to get rid of the Showtime.
We got rid of the cock. We tossed the cock to the curb.
Did you kick it in the cock?
Yeah, we kicked it in the cock. We Lorena Bobbitt.
It's like what we talked about last time. I think is that
for your kids playing at home, she cut off her husband's dick.
I'm even thinking about getting rid of Disney Plus just because it's going from, like I said, like 80 a year to 135 starting in October. It's like, fuck, you don't put out enough content for me to justify that.
Yeah, it's these streaming services.
Well, and then what you do is you just kind of wait. You wait for like a really good deal, you know, and then when you come back to it, you're kind of like, oh, I've been meaning to see this. And now I can watch it, you know. So,
I mean,
I think
there's just so much to choose from. But then you go, how many times you sit and go, there's nothing on.
Well, they've been saying for like a month or 2 months now that basically Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO Max, or whatever, or the Max, whatever, and then I think one other thing are now all going to be combined into one thing, and then it's just be one price. So if they do everything, all that for like $20 a month, then
that will be it's going to be like $30 for the
more.
No ads for 56 devices.
Well, or they'll get you hooked.
Yeah,
and then jack it up. Because Amazon used to be great.
Oh yeah,
right.
And now it's like it's either commercials or you got to pay for it. I guess Outer Banks? No, what's that?
I mean the other thing,
sci-fi show,
the sci-fi. Yeah, that season 2 is a mind fuck, but it's good.
The other thing that I've done before,
I gotta watch that too.
I knocked it out. Oh, Outer Range.
Outer Range, that's what it is.
Yeah, it came out sometime in May, like second week of May, first week of May.
Yeah, I just have been just watching other shit. So
yeah, it's
the other thing that I've done when I've limited my streaming choices. Like, say I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do
this one family,
this one for a while. Is that then I'll just kind of say, like, if there is a show that I'm like really wanting, like I'll just buy that show or something, buy that season, you know. So it's just like, okay, like I'm saving money here, but
that's a good idea.
You know, I'm gonna buy this show.
Plus you own it.
Yeah, then you own it, right? Exactly.
Yeah, so. I tend to like it, like especially on Apple, because like Apple, if you buy something on Apple and if you've linked your movies anytime, anywhere app or whatever, like they combine over, and then I usually download anything I buy anyway.
Yep.
That way I have it on external if I need it. If the power, not the power's out, but if something happens where I don't have internet, I can still watch it. It's
good. It's good for flights too.
Yeah,
you know, like there's no limitation basically. Like if you own something on there. So I own it. Well, I mean, like several years ago, like when Chris had said, "Hey guys, like you can buy The Office for like real cheap."
Is Chris not going to make it tonight?
I think
he
so.
Basically gave up. Yeah,
he bailed on us.
It's not surprising.
Sorry, gents.
Yeah, and he's not listening. He's never going to listen to this, so we can say what we want about him. You know?
Fuck you, Chris.
Yeah, fuck you.
That was Nick.
Chris, come back, okay?
He'll show up with like 5 minutes left. You know.
Hey, gents, does this one count for the month?
I was on vacation.
Well, I think Jack's going away, right?
I'll be here next week.
Oh, you'll be
here
next week.
I won't be here next week. Jack will be here, and then the next week Jack won't be here.
Okay.
Yes.
And then I can take over.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if I'll be here the next week because I have 4 demos.
Well, I'm just going to run it by myself, and whoever shows up is welcome to jump on board.
No, I'm here next week.
Matt train.
Yeah. The week of the 22nd. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Like that one.
I'll be in San Diego, California. It better be nice and cool there because
summer breeze. How hot is it where you are?
Randy said he could have sent an email if he knew Chris was gone. We've had heat warning. I mean, we went to the pool and it was like, all right, I'm miserable. It's so hot.
It's not even.
But the kids like the water, but I'm like going, okay, I'm dying. It's too hot.
Yeah, well, even LA had a heat wave like 4 days ago. It was like 106 in LA or something like that. It was.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks.
Well, we had a really actually nice day today.
Oh, shut up.
No, I mean it's just like you get it when you can, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like it was cool enough that we could open up the house, turn off the AC, just like let the fresh air through. Because you know you gotta, can't be stagnant all the time. So, and it's nice to run off not have something running. But then as soon as like the sun started heating up all of the rain, because basically you get a storm that comes through. It's just like, yeah, we had wind for a while, but then it only does so much, and then it's just like, nope, you got to board it up, got to batten down.
So we haven't had a lot of rain this year, and I can hear it raining. It's raining so hard now.
Well, we had some of that barrel storm rain, so
yeah. I don't know, man.
No, we had some after effects of that, I guess, that passed through. My kids were watching it on the map.
I was actually happy because I didn't have to mow the lawn because it all died. but now it's raining, so now it's coming back. Come on, man.
Yeah. Well,
What?
I had a bear in my yard as well.
I saw that.
Yeah,
Oh,
as well, bobcat today. So,
wow.
A bobcat today. Which is scarier, the bobcat or the?
well,
the Gulf weight.
the bobcat has more potential to wait. Okay, so a bear will definitely fuck you up more if it chooses to attack you, but the odds of being attacked by a bear are lower than being attacked by a bobcat. So
You know what you say? You say, "Excuse me, chef." To the
I wanted
bear,
to
and
talk
then
about
let
that.
you slide.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
just
pretty good.
I started this season now. I'm
starts
into
off
the bear.
solid. Yeah.
So
I love the first 2 episodes.
I
thought they were great.
liked the first episode.
Yeah.
I was kind of worried with the way that you described the season that I was not going to, but I actually liked the kind of slow, like it was an interesting pace, the way the direction was, like these flashes, like it was a nice culmination of everything. So,
I'm not trying to say that this season of The Bear is a bad season. It's not a bad season. It's just that it's a completely different pace than the first 2 seasons. Because to me, I think people are going to view seasons 3 and season 4 as kind of one season. I think that this is a long build.
So it's like a Kevin Costner movie.
You gotta love the casting of his parents, though, right? I mean, to get Jamie Lee Curtis and her performance as the mom, right?
Oh, that was an outstanding episode.
And then you
She's
and then you
this
got
season too.
Oh, she's in this season?
and then you got Odenkirk.
Well, it's a flashback or
No,
Well,
it's
I mean,
a current time. Yeah.
okay.
but then you also got Odenkirk, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if he makes any more appearances in this season, but whenever I see him in flashbacks,
Well,
or
how
what
far
have
are you?
I think I'm only in the first couple episodes.
Oh, okay.
I was watching, and then I may have drifted off and fallen asleep. So
Because I really like the 5th episode, and the 6th episode I thought was amazing.
all right,
Yeah, like I said, but whereas in the first 2 seasons seemed to happen over a longer period of time.
Mhm.
You know, like this one to me, the entire 3rd season I think takes place in like a 2-week to 3-week period.
Oh,
It
interesting.
seems very
okay.
Yeah, the 6th episode is completely different than all the other episodes. And
It's the acid trip episode. I love those.
No, it really nails one of the characters. You go, oh, that's why they were such a pisser in season 1.
Gotcha.
That's why I understand it now, because what this person had to go through. And I was like going, I just thought it was,
oh yeah, I got you. Yeah,
I don't want to spoil. Anyway, I go, well, this is a fantastic. You really felt you felt for this. You felt for this person. But not only that, I go, they really, like I said, they really nailed.
I need to remember.
There's an interesting backstory to that character for sure, Jack. Because I don't even want to say it because then Matt will figure out what character it is. But you definitely figure out like why. Yeah.
Why were they such
beep boop?
Yeah.
Anyway,
okay. Well, I'll try to persevere and get through the rest of the season so I can chat with you gents about it. So
I think, Jack, the next episode is the Jamie Lee Curtis episode. So if that's one you just finished. I think the next one is the Jamie Lee Curtis episode.
Yeah. I'm almost positive I watched the.
I've been going at a slower pace.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, because I knocked it out in 2 days. It was just like and then.
Well, it's funny you mentioned you had a bear in your yard, because I was telling Jay and Cindy, I said, for whatever reason, I suddenly have this fear of bears. Even though there's no bears in our, I guess there are bears around here, but it's not in Raleigh
or that type of bear.
Yeah, bears, because they eat beets and they like Battlestar Galactica.
They do.
But I was saying that, and then the next day you send a picture of a bear walking through your driveway. I'm like going, what the fuck? It just, and they said, why did I go? No, I didn't always have that fear. It was when we were in Alaska. I'm not fear, but I was just like going, in Alaska, I said every place we went, they had watch for bears, or they had some kind of cute saying, but it was like, they go, sometimes they'll be walking around here. You just got to be, you got to be paying attention.
That's basically what, a lot of things have been misinterpreted from the, Second Amendment, but that's what they mean about the right to bear arms. If you see a bear, you need to be armed. Like, so if
before they rip it off,
if you're living
My
in
arm?
parts of the country that have bears, you better be armed. Just saying. And
It had nothing to do
also-
that we didn't have an army.
So
Well,
people of
also
California,
should be-
do people of California know that? Because they have a bear on their flag.
they should also be well and regulated. So
Well, California's going down the tank.
It's true.
I was sitting there. We were Cindy and I were. She saw this. They had this news report because California was really big on getting the solar panels up and offering all these incentives and stuff like that. Well, I guess now they have so much energy, they can't store it. So
Yeah, that's a common thing, especially with solar, because that's been a problem, a known problem for well over a decade, is that they have the technology to harness the power, but the batteries have yet been fully developed to really keep the solar panel, the solar energy stored for a long period of time. You basically need to use.
Well, that's what I said. I go. Well, I said, why aren't they selling it to neighboring states?
right.
But I guess so now that all these these companies are having to lay off people because the state is no longer offering these incentives because they don't need it.
Sure.
So they've lost 17,000 green jobs in California. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Gavin Newsom, if he runs for president, will win because he's a good-looking guy.
Yeah,
but I don't think he's qualified to be.
No, I mean, you look at what he did in San Francisco. You look at what he did in the state. I mean, I lived there when he first became governor, and it was I mean, just
he's a well-spoken guy.
Yeah.
He's not 100 years old, and he's good-looking. And he'll carry California because he's, governor of California. Governor. So a lot of the stuff he's done there, you go, wow.
Well,
I said, why can't you? I go, it's just, I don't know. It's a mess.
Yeah. Well, that aside, I mean, there's other things that are regulated that we keep given money for again and again. So
well, I get it, but I'm just saying there's just a lot of crap going on in California where it's just like,
it's too bad that they couldn't distribute that further.
There's people living on the streets. Why don't we find a building and let them cool off or warm up in the wintertime? So now I guess they're ordering these big batteries to help store it, but they just weren't prepared for all this, because you look at San Diego and Los Angeles, the sun's out all the time.
Sun's out, guns out.
So I don't know.
It's a complex issue because it's not only. It's one thing like if you're like Chris and you have your own battery and storage in your home, you also the conductors have to be a two-way. Like they have to have the infrastructure built in to
So you're saying they have to go both ways?
Yeah.
They have to be trans.
So like the computer systems and everything else, it's like that's and at least in my job, that's something a lot of utilities want. They want the technology to be like, oh, like Matt just built a house, he's putting solar panels on. We need to be able to see how much energy he's putting into the system. So the flow coming out of his house going in, because it's a, on a map, it's just a one line, but you need to be able to see it's a complex issue.
Well, because eventually I'm going to have solar panels. I wanted them years ago, but Cindy goes, and she goes, our electric bill's so high. I go, we don't talk about that.
Right.
She goes, why? I go, because we could have had no electric bill.
Right.
You didn't want to do it.
I mean, I do think about like the fact that even having solar panels would reduce the actual energy and the heating of the house too.
Yeah.
Right. Because you're basically creating a barrier there that's diffusing that heat as it comes into your house. So
you mean instead of hitting directly on the
right, instead of baking up the attic and creating useless heat that you're already trying to use an AC to like cool off, you're diffusing that
well, like I said, I've said this 100 times. What has really hurt our house is they destroyed the woods next to us.
Trees,
right.
They ripped all the trees down, and now that sun is up at 6 o'clock.
Oh, for sure.
It doesn't go down until 9 o'clock.
We used to have trees to the west of us that really helped block some of that, and it's just like those are gone because there was some type of pest that came through and killed all of those things. So
well, that's what
Randy says. Solar panel farms are so ugly on the landscape.
Yeah,
I go, Randy. Why do you hate the environment? Okay,
right.
Well, that's the thing.
I'm just kidding, Randy.
Bro. Bruh.
Raw.
Yeah.
Raw.
But it's true though. It's like solar panels, take a lot of materials to build, take up space, and then the thing is that if they crack, which is it's a remote chance that they crack, but the pollutants that are in the panels, if you have it on certain good soil, that soil is kind of like salting the earth. That you're going to ruin the topsoil there, so you can't farm on that land if they take them out. And they basically
I'm not Gaius Belter. I'm not going to farm anyway.
Yeah, but there's a lot of like I said, I think
there's always
eventually
there's always a plus and a minus, plus and minus.
Yeah, I mean, there's also the way that you can collect solar energy by focusing that solar energy to heat up a steam,
right?
And then you're creating like a turbine type of energy. So,
Will Fry says, "I wish they would cover more parking lots with solar."
Yeah, they paved Paradise and they put up a parking lot.
Well,
let's take over those parking lots and put up a.
I know that LA was proposing that, or at least for the aqueduct, that comes in. They were wanting to cover that because it would do two things: one, give them power from the solar panels on top of it, and one, it would keep the water from evaporating because it's covered. Yeah,
right. Yeah, because now what they do is they throw a bunch of plastic balls, I think, in there or something like that.
Yeah, that works too. Yeah.
Well, they put all these plastic. I go, what the fuck are they doing? So I got to watch this. All these plastic balls, to keep
then you get microplastics in your water supply. And
I was trying to get when I was working at the rink, trying to get the owner, because running a ice rink, especially right now, when it's this hot, it's really hard to keep the ice frozen. Especially the rink I worked at didn't have a lot of insulation, so if it was hot outside, I mean, you would literally be playing hockey and you're sweating as you're getting dressed. That's no fun. But in the wintertime, it's so cold, you're freezing your ass off to get in. I said, why don't we put solar panels all the way across the top of it's a huge building. I go, well, you'd never have to pay for energy again. Right. He's like, anyway, he died anyway, so I'm not working there anymore. But I go, that would be the best thing to do it. Just we had a huge parking lot too. I said, make a solar farm in here, but never went for it. He ended up selling the rink. So, but I'm always like that because I was at the kids, the Gladfelder boys' school. They have these like rental solar panel things where people can bring their car there and charge it.
Oh, well.
Because that's been I've said, I go, if I was McDonald's or if I was like a gas station that like AM PM or Sheetz or something like that, or any kind of fast food restaurant, is I would offer solar panel. You'd have to pay for it, but also, what are you gonna do for a half hour? You're gonna sit there. And they have these things that they're just big things on it.
I like the idea in Monsters Inc. and that laughing creates more energy than screams, and so if we can just get Warm Taffy hooked up to a machine, his laugh can generate enough power for probably a whole state.
I would think so. They were that was part of the article. They said all the energy that they toss aside would be able to power San Francisco for a year.
Wow.
That's how, and there's a lot of people in San Francisco. But if you're ever watching TikTok and you hear that laugh, doesn't it sound like Taffy's laugh? I don't know if you've heard it. It sounds just like, I think someone stole Taffy's laugh,
sampled him,
and put it on there. It's a laugh that goes right. You don't remember his stupid laugh.
Yeah, I don't think you could challenge that though or anything. But yeah, I mean, you sample somebody. It's not. I wouldn't make any money off it. No, but I don't even think he could either.
Unless they took it from the Married Man show, then I guess I could.
You're like, I own 50% of that.
I don't have to tell him. It's a real obnoxious laugh. I first heard it just because Cindy's always on. I go, hold on a second. I go, was that Dale's laugh? She goes, I don't think so. I go, it sounds like Dale's laugh.
But I think it's just, I don't know the rules of all that. But, in 2000, though, there was a record by a group called the Avalanches. And they basically were a group of DJs.
They from Colorado?
No, I don't know where they're from. But you would know the hit song off of it because it was in Dexter. That That boy needs therapy. Psycho. Like it's basically there's a song off of that first record. That's all that is samples of people talking off of TV shows and commercials, and it's just them putting beats in and mixing up audio to make those songs. And it's all samples.
Sherry's obviously been drinking. She said Taffy has a great laugh. No.
Yeah, it's not Frontier. Yeah,
I think you're reading that wrong. She said Taffy has a great laugh.
Oh, okay, maybe that's how I was. Okay. All right. I told you we were in Vegas one time. And and I sat down at the table. And he's going, and people are just looking at him crazy. He goes, Jack. They go, you know him? I go, no. He's been following me around this whole, the whole time. I go,
get this guy out of here.
I have no idea. In fact, you know what? I'm leaving.
I'm out.
But yeah, he's got an obnoxious laugh. So Sherry, do you like the laugh? Or you were like, oh, no.
Do you like the laugh?
I don't know. I don't know if I do or not. Basically, that's all I got.
Well, anything else? Ended that abruptly.
No, I'm just saying.
Well, we should probably take another commercial break just because.
All right. At this time, we're going to take a commercial break. No, I do like his laugh. It's unique. It's stupid. Just say unique is stupid.
Let's see here.
Do we have any emails?
We do, but it's the same one from last week. I was holding for when Chris showed up, but he was too good to show up.
So this email, we're not going to read this until August.
Yeah, let's
run it.
Well, if it's, is there something specifically for Chris though?
Yeah, it's basically talking about Star Trek, and how he has not seen the original.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
How he's a loser.
I guess we gotta wait for him.
It's funny. I put Dances with Bananas because Dances with Wolves, and I'm like,
sure.
I know I've seen it.
Yeah,
but I can't really remember all of it.
The Dances with Wolves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
It's got Madam President in it, and I cannot remember.
Have you seen?
What?
Did you see Avatar?
Yes.
Okay, it's kind of like that. Yeah. It's kind of like Avatar.
Dances with Wolves, Fern Gully, Last Samurai. They're all the same movie, basically.
Okay. Wasn't about Civil War type stuff or something?
Yes.
Okay.
Which one? And what movie?
Dances with Wolves.
That's how it starts, yeah.
Because Jay I go, well, this is a long movie. I go, what's Kevin Costner?
Yeah, it has multiple moments and acts, and of course he falls in love with the one girl who was adopted by the tribe. That's somewhat like I can't remember her name, but
I know.
Her hair is really done to the nines.
It's president. It's the president of BSG. She's
that's right. That's right.
I just said that.
Yeah.
That's
Nobody's
right.
Mm-hmm.
I said Madam President.
Madam President for sure.
Yeah.
Why sometimes they call her sir and sometimes they call her ma'am?
I was Mary McDonald. Yes, Mary McDonald. Yeah, I had a huge crush on her in BSG, like watching it. Yeah.
Really?
Like the Cougars, eh?
She's I like to think that she's actually more my age
now.
Really.
Actually, the Cylons were older than she was.
Technically,
true.
Probably.
Technically. So no, she could get it.
All right. So Chris just wrote us. He said, great. "Fuck, fell asleep next to him." Right.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. You got Dances with Wolves is what you did, man.
Yeah.
You fell asleep with the tribe.
With the tribe. Well, and it's spoiler in the Horizon movie, he's not fighting the Indians.
Oh, okay.
I wonder if he chose not to do that.
Well, but he got some blowback because he didn't use actual Native Americans.
Really?
Yeah, there's something.
Well, what are they? They're speaking something. They're Apaches.
There was something about it though, and he was just kind of like, I can't fucking spoon feed this shit to you people or something. So that's what I read.
Randy says, if I'm awake, Chris needs to be awake.
Damn, Randy's like dropping 3-pointers on Chris.
So he didn't use real. Just
I don't know. I don't want to be spreading fake news. I'm half asleep. I'm sorry.
It's funny because we used to do a sports talk show,
Mhm.
and we used to talk about this when they were called the Redskins.
Right.
Now people are trying to bring the name back.
Yeah, the Native Americans are. That's even they even said that at the time. That they didn't want it to go away because the person on the
not everybody. Not everybody.
Well, not everybody.
No, I meant the Native American tribes that were for. They were saying it at the time. They were saying that this is a real person.
There was some.
Yeah, they were a real person, and they're honoring that real person, and so they didn't see offense to it.
To me,
I feel like it's one of those.
It's the most offensive name because of,
I feel like it's one of those things where like, well, we can agree that 5% of scientists agree that climate change isn't a real thing. So basically, half the scientists here are against climate change.
Or 4 out of 5 dentists choose dentine.
Right.
They could never find that.
But that fifth one is holding out, and that's who we're listening to. So
it's the same person.
Seriously.
Anyway.
Yeah. You know why they choose it?
Because it's the Keebler Elf dentist. That's the fucking holdout.
Anyway, I'm gonna have to go read that. I did not know that.
He got some blowback, and I don't want to be misquoted on it. So just look up maybe
the Indians
controversy, Horizon controversy, Costner Indians.
But isn't it fair today? You just no matter what you do, somebody's gonna be pissed off.
Yeah,
I mean, you just can't make people happy.
That's why I'm glad. That's why I'm glad we only have like 10,000 listeners, because if we got any bigger.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you just have to punch them away.
You're dreaming on the 10,000 later.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Sometimes we're just like, hey.
I mean, think about it. How many people would not like Chris because he's an elder abuser?
Yeah, went to sleep already.
That's true.
Yeah.
Matt, because he's sleeping on the job. He's falling asleep as you're speaking.
I started this podcast.
Cool drawing behind you.
Drinking. Oh, thank you. By the way, new drawing. So
I like it.
I thought it was. I wasn't sure. I knew you had a circular one back there a week or two ago.
Yeah, it had color in it though.
But like how he plays with lights, so I wasn't sure if it was the same or different.
No, here let me see if I can mess with my own.
Is it Time Tunnel?
Remember
that TV show?
It was. I just was kind of meditating the other day. Like I was trying to get over.
I've never meditated.
I was trying to get over a sinus headache. So
I thought you said like a breakup or something.
You should try meditation, Jack. You'd like it.
I don't know if I could do it.
Don't know.
I can't sit still that long.
Maybe it's too bright now. Maybe it's too bright. Well, I can't seem to.
But it does look more like a tunnel now that you've got the lights on it. So
yeah.
Well, I thought it was what is that right there?
It looks like a sheep going in a tunnel.
It does look like a sheep.
Okay, hold on a second.
And what is that? What is that part up there too?
I'll be right back.
Okay.
He's he's going to change the light. That's what he's doing.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So for everyone out there,
so you people that it's a colonoscopy.
It's a colonoscopy. Yeah. Doc, I need a photo of this.
Randy said it's a colonoscopy.
It does look like a colonoscopy. So for everyone out there listening, it does. It's a very massive drawing that Matt has done.
It does.
It looks like a tunnel. Yeah.
It's a colonoscopy. Fuck you, Randy.
Well, you could do that for a living. Live drawings of the colonoscopy.
Yeah. Hey, would you like your own specialized? It's like when you go to
remember this forever.
Whenever you go to a
Disneyland or something.
Disneyland, and there's always that person that's basically right. They're
you
right
could make
there.
you could make it a cartoonish type thing too.
And they're like, "Hey, would you like your own version of this? Blah blah blah." And I'd be like, right there. And,
who wouldn't? You could probably charge $100 a pop.
Yeah, and I'm like, hey,
and then you can expand the labor drawings,
And then I'll say, hey, do you have a specific profession or a cartoon animal that you like? Because I can also include that in the drawing. Like I'm kind of like one of those sideshow
open heart surgery.
Doesn't that sound like something Steve Martin would do in a movie? Like like you could just see someone in labor and he's over there like just sketching.
Okay, here we go, Jack.
Okay. post this. See what you people are.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay.
So everyone
So
out there, Matt
there's a
took these
person,
pictures, and he took close.
And that's you, isn't it? Is that it's in your series? It's like in your series of.
Yeah, it is kind of. It's just kind of like the every.
Wait, is that a
person.
Is that a penis over there, or just rocks?
No, those are just rocks.
I see what you're alluding to, because it does.
It does kind of look like a penis, does it?
This is the other being that is on this.
Oh, there's
surface
two.
here.
It looks very welcome to the machine drawn.
So this one is much larger and kind of
ribbed for his pleasure.
fuck you, Randy. Go home. And then on the other side of the circle is I have this kind of cloud.
It almost looks like a little alien eye on the left, looking at a face on the.
Well, I see two. I see two in the nose right here.
Yeah, I see the nose, and the eyes.
Yeah,
but then,
Yep.
Huh.
So that's what the.
I like it. I like it.
Thanks. Yeah, I just did this pretty much.
Okay, so it's
all just pencil, right?
Just pencil, and this took me about a day or two. So probably a solid day.
When you stop, you just pick a point. Okay, I'm tired, or I don't do anymore. I'm losing my creative juices.
My back hurt, and I just was tired of sitting there. I got the tunnel part in, and then I just was like, okay, I'm done. And then today I came back, and I was kind of doing more of the lighter work and just trying to kind of like balance it out, and then decide how I was going to do value. I'm trying to decide like where I want to push it and where do I want to leave it light. So, but
it's amazing how much different it looks. Like it's like you pull back, it did look like a sheep or some kind of animal, but now when you showed us the close-up pictures, we can see what it is.
Yeah, the spatial thing with the figure, like there being this tiny figure kind of in this kind of like at the beginning of this giant kind of hole, is kind of me thinking about like having this sinus pain and trying to like kind of imagine that pain kind of dissipating or opening up or like releasing.
So you did this when you had a headache?
I did this when I had a headache and I was kind of meditating and kind of thinking. Would that make it
worse?
Like, what do you mean? No, I didn't draw this. I didn't draw this. No, okay. The imagery comes from.
Oh, this was after you had the headache.
Yeah, I drew this after I had the headache.
Okay, all right.
I just kind of went up to my bedroom and put the pillows over my head and just kind of slowly was just kind of like closing my eyes and just kind of imagining kind of just this like my sinuses opening up basically. So this idea of this tunnel, but also the idea of consciousness and how like in your head, it's like the size of your being could be endless. You could be huge, you could be gigantic, right, or you could be very tiny. And so that's where I have this really large figure that's kind of like made out of these like little space bubbles, kind of crouching around or like looking around this very physical rock cliff, which is also a little Hobbit inspired, as I've been reading The Hobbit with my son. So and then the idea of kind of like transitioning into this kind of like other different size of a being, like that's very tiny in a very like large space. So and then the other side is obviously the clouds, and it was good, Jack, that you got the idea of the eyes, because I was trying to think of this other aspect of when I'm trying to get out of a migraine or trying to dissipate. It's like I think of evaporation, or I think of like my mind kind of opening up and like being able to kind of like not be so trapped or solid or locked in. So
nothing worse than a migraine.
Turn off your mind.
I've had a couple migraines.
Both of you get it. I didn't take LSD though to do this. But thanks for noticing and allowing me to talk a little bit about that. So
no problem. That's what we're here for. So. And like Randy
it's a new piece. So I mean, hey, maybe next week it'll be the same one. Maybe So I actually
I think I
with
saw
a rough draft.
this in the Louvre actually.
Oh, did you?
You just took it with you and you just stuck it up real quick.
Just took it up really quick.
So you're copying stuff now.
No, I do a rough draft, actually, a very large rough draft, quick, kind of quickly, and that way I can kind of adjust, and then I go to this version, So
did you ever read that article? I think it came out like 2-3 months ago. I remember reading it. It was funny. I'm not sure which modern art museum it was at, but it's somewhere in the United States where it was a security guard or someone just worked at the museum who was an actual artist. And he just put up a piece of his own stuff every now and then just to see if anyone noticed. And then he would just go stand next to it like, oh, wow. I think he got fired actually. But
it's still funny.
I could see why. See why, but that is hilarious.
I still like the Bosom Buddy episode where Henry, because Kip is an artist, and he takes some of his artwork and puts it in an art show or whatever gallery, and he's not, and Kip is not ready for that. But Henry says, "No, you're ready, and all the people are, all the other art suck, But Kip has this, Tom Hanks' character has this great art, and stuff like that, and they're like, we don't understand what that means. He goes, well, what about this? What about this? Oh, that means this, and it means this, and it means this. He goes, it's the flag of Japan. That's all it was a red circle on a white piece of paper. But they're like, oh, it means this, and means this. I'll never forget that from Bosom Buddies. It's the flag of Japan. You know how Tom Hanks yells.
Yeah.
Who just turned 68, by the way. 68.
Well, I saw that. Yeah. Anyway. That's it. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said to Chris like months and months ago, because we were talking about
stop beating up 68-year-olds.
No, we were talking about Saving Private Ryan, and I said, Chris, you realize that you and I are the same age right now that Tom Hanks was in Saving Private Ryan. And he's like, fuck you, Nick, because it just made him feel old. And I'm like, yeah,
it does make you feel. I mean, I'm gonna be 62 here, and what's today? The 10th, like a month.
Yeah.
62.
Yeah, I mean that's what blows my mind, Jack. Is like basically when we met you, you're basically the same age as we are now, and it's like, but it just goes by like that,
It does.
Yeah,
and the worst part is you start, like I said, I know I've seen Dances with Wolves, but I can't remember it.
Oh, the memory stuff too. Like that's annoying because it's just like, I know I'm not this fucking dumb. What the hell was that thing I was talking about?
Yeah.
So
it's like me and names. It's like I can see their face, but I can't remember their name. It's like I don't know.
I was always better like faces than names. Like putting those two together was always. But I think there is an element of the social aspect where we can recognize faces, but names, it's just like,
Because Cindy always go, how can you remember so much useless stuff? But you can't remember other thing. I go, well, because it's just stored up there. Like, I can like today's, the last 5 years, I struggle with names and baseball thing. But when I was a kid, boom, yeah, he played for that and he was traded for this. Blah, blah, blah. How do you know? I go, because that's what I know.
Well, that's the argument in City Slickers. Remember when they're sitting around the campfire and close. No, and it's the young lady Helen that played Supergirl.
Helen Slater.
Helen Slater, yeah. And
I don't know why I knew that.
And she's talking about something, and not the guy from Home Alone and not Billy Crystal, but the shorter guy with the mustache. He's talking about if that was interesting, people would put it on a card and sell bubble gum with it, and then she goes, I just don't understand men because women talk about like, how's your relationship going? How's your life going? All these things. He's like, we don't memorize who played third base for Pittsburgh in 1960, and all three of them go Don Ho, and then they're like, beat you. It's like, see, that's exactly what I mean. Like, you remember all the stupid shit.
It's like, it's weird. It's like TV, like old TV shows and old, but modern. It's like I struggle with the current ones. I think maybe because there's just so much. There's so many different TV shows you're watching. Back then you got. Someone posted on Twitter. They said, "Do you remember when there were 12 stations and they played the national anthem at 12 o'clock when it went off the air?" I mean,
12.
I said, where the hell were you? I go, we had 4. Yeah. That's counting PBS. I go, where the hell were you living when you had 12 stations?
True. Yeah. What year?
Well, I mean, there are areas where if you're close to 2 big TV station cities and 2 different time zones, you could actually.
That's in the email that got sent to Chris. Is that this young lady grew up in the same area as Chris, and she said that she remembers actually seeing Star Trek. But she goes, I was also on top of an area that received separate signals from different areas. So it could have been one of those things too. But.
Well, I said this before, when San Diego's stations would go off the air, you were able to pick up the LA stations because they stayed on longer. They had Cal Worthington and his dog Spot, and he would sponsor these movies. You're looking for a car, go see Cal. Looking for a car, go see Cal. He'll stand on his head till his ears are turning red. Go see Cal, go see Cal, go see Cal. And that guy lived forever. I mean,
Trey brought up a good point about you forgot about the message like, do you know where your children are? Which is true as well.
I know now.
Jack didn't have children at that time, so
no,
that he knew of.
I knew of, yeah. But I mean, you could get LA stations. And there was also a Spanish station you could get from Mexico. You were, so close. But yeah, you couldn't get those stations if the San Diego stations were still on. I mean, it would be really. I mean, it was bad anyway, bad quality. You had to get the rabbit ears out with the tin foil and extra wire. You could we learned to put wire, connect the thing, and put it outside the window. With tinfoil, and you could get a better reception. You kids don't know today. You don't know HD and all that other crap. We didn't have HD. We had snow.
I know a little bit about that.
Well, yeah, probably because you're older.
I grew up in the middle of nowhere. We didn't have fancy TV.
Didn't have that fancy TV.
Well, I remember I didn't get Fraggle Rock growing up. That was just one of the channels.
Sure.
Yeah. And
you had to have cable. You had to basically have cable to get Fraggle Rock.
Right. And I remember somewhere in high school or maybe even college, someone talking about Fraggle Rock. What's Fraggle Rock? And they're like, Fraggle Rock? I'm like, no.
You don't know crack cocaine.
Oh man, you're a loser. You gotta go sit at the loser table, man.
This guy doesn't know about Wembley.
My dad wasn't very
dozers.
My dad wasn't really a confrontational guy, but he got upset because everyone around us, except for we this is how we called ours, and we still people that still lived there back then will still call it the big block, the little block, and the big block. There was our street, and there was a street behind us that we called the little block. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Then there's a street behind street behind that was we called the big block.
Big block.
And to that I still do. So, but anyway, we were blocked off by a busy road, and then back where Mark Hamill lives, it was like canyon area. So we were blocked off. The cable companies wouldn't they wouldn't give us HBO.
Oh,
because they said it's too expensive. And my dad went and just finally got them to. I don't know if he was calling them or he went down to complain, but. Was way out of his character, but we ended up getting cable because of it.
Oh,
because it was like 2 or 3 years. People like going, and everyone kept saying, "Oh, channel 100." And I go, "What's channel? It was supposed to be a nude that showed nude things."
Yeah.
But I guess it was urban legend. But everybody had it.
Urban legend had it.
They go, "Do you have it?" I go,
it's called your mom.
Yeah, I go, we don't.
Pining for that.
I go, we don't have it. I go, we don't have. But you could though, if you kind of change the channel real quick, you could get the Playboy channel blurry.
You're blurry,
squiggly lines.
I think I saw a nipple.
Yeah, well, that's what it was.
Yeah,
I saw a nipple last night. Anyway, that was my life.
It's true, he did. Chris refused to visit Mark Hamill, or maybe he's there right now. We don't know.
You know what? Screw it. I don't care.
So you remember the old HBO intro song and theme and all that. So when it's going down the canyon, that's actually where Jack lived, in this part. It's like, we're flying over Jack's area, so we don't have to give him HBO.
We don't have to give him HBO.
Yeah. It's happening again. It was the last little like fuck you to Jack and his family of like, hey, there's your house. We're passing by you.
Getting cable was a big deal because you had CNN was just starting.
This is CNN.
So I know I've said this a long time ago. Like, you
couldn't lose me here.
My parents could not get cable. Like we had was this big ass satellite dish in our yard because we live out in the middle of nowhere, and we had to every so many hours in this big ass remote control that we had to put in coordinates for the satellite dish to move to get to another satellite, and like they were called like Galaxy 5, Galaxy 1, and like all these weird names and. It was just it's normal when you're a kid because that's all you know. But then when I look back on it, I'm like, what the hell?
Well, my dad and mom, when my dad and mom separated, my dad moved to another house and he goes, you know what? I'm going to get one of those satellite dishes and I can watch the shows on it because you like Carson and all these. But he had to get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work. He goes, I can watch these shows at 8 o'clock or 8:30, whenever he could watch them early. So, but he also wanted to watch. He was a big Cardinal fan, so he would watch the Cardinals broadcast. Right. He had it for like a year, this giant, set because they were huge. I mean, you remember those things. And then he goes, "Oh, they want to start charging me for all this stuff."
Right.
He goes, "I can afford it, but fuck them. I'm not doing." He didn't say fuck them, but he said,
"Fuck them.
Screw them. I'm not." So he wouldn't pay for it. I go, you cheap bastard.
I went and saw
Jack impersonating Andy Rooney in Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Right.
Andy Rooney
for the win. For the win,
he wasn't in Breakfast at Tiffany's, was he?
Yeah.
Why?
He's the racist upstairs neighbor.
What was the name of the? Was the guy in 18? What was the name?
Which one?
Tiffany. The guy at Breakfast at Tiffany.
The face.
Oh yeah,
George Picard.
George Picard. Yeah.
Why is George Picard in this movie? I don't understand it. I don't see him dating. It was Audrey Hepburn, right? I don't see him dating.
I mean, he was a pretty decent guy.
He was a young.
I'm just saying Andy Rooney with his big eyebrows.
Yeah.
Well, that's not what he.
I like when Joe Piscopo did him on Saturday Night Live. Do you remember that?
I remember.
Don't you find my voice annoying?
Well, the one I remember is more. I'm forgetting his name. Garth.
Garth.
Dana Carvey. Dana Carvey did it because it was a true story. Like Dana Carvey said, before SNL, he goes, I was on a pilot with Andy Rooney, and Andy Rooney was such an arrogant ass. He would just be like, did you know I was the biggest star in the world? And like basically the entire SNL sketch is just him doing that over and over and over again. Like every time someone addresses him, he's like, in the world.
Well, he was cranky. He was always old.
Yeah.
Right? He was always old. But 60 Minutes was one of those shows I watched every week. Why? Because we only had 3 channels.
Right.
You'd watch the Ed Sullivan Show? No,
we're a little too young for that one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ed Sullivan. We used to watch Ed Sullivan and The Wonderful World of Disney, which they'd show movies. What are we adding here?
Let the kids see there. There's sorry, Mickey Rooney. I'm sorry.
Mickey Rooney, yeah.
Mickey Rooney.
Yeah. Well, I get those two confused.
He's playing an Asian
Japanese,
yeah. Yeah.
So
that's kind of racist.
It's very. So.
That's a movie that I'm surprised they have not remade. Even though I love Breakfast at Tiffany's with Audrey Hepburn, to make a true book version of it is surprising that they have not done that.
Right.
They remake everything else.
Yeah, but the 60s version is a very PG version, and I'm surprised they have not made a true to book version of that movie.
For sure.
Randy says Red Skelton. You guys have heard
and they should remake Fight Club.
What?
No. Have you guys heard of Red Skelton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the blues and the green.
I seem to remember Red Skelton had to drink before he could perform. I read that somewhere.
I heard that we are 30 minutes over this show, and
Yeah,
I
I think Matt's about
5
ready to
sheets
pass out.
under this wind here. I am
you can
so
tell he's
tired.
Under the wind, all we are is dust in the wind. Okay,
That's
we'll
all
be
we're
back.
saying.
We'll be back next week. I would ask what day we're gonna record, but again, I won't remember. I have to say, once you guys said Wednesday, I go, I think we did say Wednesday.
We did say Wednesday.
Enjoy
You
the
start eating ginkgo biloba, Jack.
did everybody have a good safe fourth? Everybody have a good safe fourth?
I had a safer one than the guy that put the firework on top of his head.
What the hell? You heard about that too? So a mortar? He put a mortar on top of his head?
Was it a mortar?
Oh, I saw. Yeah, that guy died.
Put a mortar.
Well, he had
mortar.
a Uncle Sam hat on.
Yeah,
because
that's not gonna help you launch a mortar.
Yeah, they know that now.
The concussion even will, it's still like explosive. I mean, come on.
And what do you think a mortar's gonna do? Those things that launch up into the air, you're just gonna set it on your head.
It was kind of gross, I guess.
Darwin Award winner of the year, right there, folks. Darwin Award.
Yeah. I went and saw the Rockies play.
By the way, Jack, was that North Carolina or South Carolina?
I don't know. Was it in the Carolinas?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Oh, I don't know.
So,
if it didn't happen in my backyard, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I know. I just read something before we started recording. There's a baby who was missing for 2 days. 1-year-old was found by a trucker on the side of a road in Louisiana.
Yeah.
I guess the mother had killed her brother.
Oh no.
And it was really sad to read, but. And then I guess threw the kid into the water. I'm not sure how the kid ended up on the side of the road, but they had heavy storms. There's snakes. There's alligators walking around there, and the kid lived.
Oh wow!
And the guy that was doing cop that was doing the talking about it was literally in tears talking about it.
Yeah,
sounds horrible. But way to go, baby! And
yeah, the baby I guess was crawling on the side of the road, and
horrible people out there. By the way.
It's like Keanu Reeves said. You got to have a license to fish, but any asshole can be a parent.
Yeah,
words to live by.
It's funny because like Keanu, he does release a lot of pearls of wisdom. Like the older he gets, because I read a quote for him not too long ago where it said that like at my age now, I don't even argue, debate, or even get into deep conversations with people. I just go, "Yep, you're right," and walk on. He goes, because I don't care anymore.
That is the way to do it. I like his words of wisdom. I'm an FBI agent. That was always good. But anyway, he would probably be fun to hang out with. I think Matt wants us to go.
Oh yeah, he's been that one of that.
But anyway, we'll be back next week.
No,
Chris, Nick, you're here next week. You're not.
No,
here.
I'm gone next week, and then you're gone next week.
It either be me and Matt and Chris, or just me and Matt.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes I like it when it's you and me, Jack. Except if you're going to be frozen like this, looking like
you and me,
Mickey Rooney.
Mickey Rooney.
Okay, that wasn't fair. Let's say Jack looks like he's about to sneeze. Jack looks like he's angry at a comment in the chat.
Oh, is that why the picture?
Jack
That's why you kept. I can't see this.
Jack is excited about the nudie channel. So.
Oh, is that why you were making all those jokes? Because
all
I can see, all I have is a black screen.
Oh, okay. Oh,
so I didn't know what the fuck you were talking
about.
Black
screen.
Check it and see. Anyway, this show is patron driven. If you like this show, become the first $1 million patron.
That's all we've ever wanted. Yeah. Is that too much to ask?
I mean,
Jeff Bezos.
You only have to do it 1 month. 1 month. Right?
Yeah, pretty much.
If you say,
I mean, we don't have to. Are there conditions?
Yeah,
do we need to go on to like an amazing race across the world? But at the end, we still get to walk away with $1 million. $1
million.
You can kick in extra for the world tour. We just want to make sure that we have a studio. Maybe Chris will show up. Maybe he might contribute.
The problem
more.
Is we'd get disqualified because Chris would beat up the older contestants.
It's like that.
Go ahead.
Anyway,
It's like that video. Have you seen that? I'm not sure if it's from a show or if it was just a sketch or whatever, but it's an English like barbecue, backyard barbecue. Somebody says something and this guy just slaps one person and they're like, "Wait, you can't!" And then you slap, and then every single person in the backyard gets slapped.
I've seen that. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
So that's Chris.
Yeah. Matt's losing it.
He lost it like 15 minutes ago.
Anyway, we're going to thank Eckhart, Richter, Glevler, Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne with the Planet, Ed, the creepy poopy, Ed the letter carrier. Thanks for what you're doing. Thanks for everyone who joins us and listens to us live. You're messing out if you're not joining us live. All you have to do is follow the Ramblecast on YouTube and set notification, and ding, it'll come up. Oh, the Ramblecast guys are on.
And you can see Jack B. froze for every half episode.
It's only the latter half, so and that's where we really get wild.
Yeah,
really
I don't know why it does that. I don't know why. I guess I'll. Oh, they don't say. I guess I'll.
He gets overheated.
I'm just glad that I don't have the worst internet now.
I know, right? Like,
and you know what's funny is I paid for Google Fiber, and Google Fiber has sucked.
Okay, well, have you checked your stool samples? Stool samples.
Stool samples.
For your fiber,
for my fiber, am I not getting enough? Am I not getting enough fiber? In my internet?
If they're coming out like golf balls, you might check that fiber connection.
That could be painful.
Yeah. All right. Yogurt.
Anyway,
granola. Get some fiber.
All right, guys. Hasta luego, and goodbye. Hey, Randy stayed up the whole time too.
I know. This was a great show. It was 1 in a million.
That's you go.
See y'all.
All right. Bye.
Bye.